Zero.
Welcome to another episode of Playing the Artist, the weekly web show where me and my pal Alex talk about trying
3D
to...
printing.
No, we don't always talk about 3D printing. I think the longer we do this show, the more I think it's going to revolve around just more of just, I guess, just like our... I don't know, our storylines, I guess, right? Because you're still in the biz, right? And who knows, I might fall back into the biz. We never know, right? And I think this podcast, yeah, sure, podcast, is more about just like, I don't know, two individuals trying to manage the waters of an artist with 3D skills, you know.
Yeah, I suppose.
Or digital skills.
I'm happy to just chat about Dungeons and Dragons. Though.
Chat about that brush cut of yours.
Did I not have this last time?
No. Yeah, you had your hat on.
Oh, yeah. I was still embarrassed. I was still embarrassed about it. Now I'm kind of just...
No, you should definitely still be. Definitely should still be. So did you? We actually hanged out. We were eating burritos on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
A lot actually. When you think about it, we hanged out on Friday, and Sunday.
Yeah, and we were eating in both scenarios.
Yes, we were. But did you take it easy on the weekend, or did you?
I did take it easy.
Or?
I did take it easy this weekend. I did start the next release a little bit, just because you got to stay on it. But I tried to enjoy. Sam was off this weekend, so I tried to enjoy time with her. Seeing Gavin and yourself and stuff like that, making time for friends.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to enjoy it while I can, because you never know when something crazy might come up. But I'm trying to keep my schedule a little bit lighter and just, I don't know, going to work smarter. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm changing about what I'm going to do this release, but I know that I'm...
One character.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to feature creep it. I guess that's what I'll change. I'm not going to feature creep it.
Feature creeping.
Yeah, if you're like, you make a plan and then you're like, oh, it'd be cool if I did this too. It'd be cool if I did this too. And then
that's the bane of any creative person's existence.
Yeah. So I'm going to not do any of that. I'm just going to stick to my guns, stick to the plan.
Funny thing you just mentioned that. It's weird because I find myself in this constant tug of war of like things to make and things not to make, and things I should pursue and things I shouldn't pursue when I'm this Kickstarter I'm working on right now. So it's weird because like I have these models I'm making, right? I'm 3D printing them and stuff. And I'm like, fuck, what else do I need to make? Like, I don't know if I have enough stuff to make, you know what I mean? And once the things are printed and they're in your hands, like once this thing is in your fucking hands, you know what I mean? The ideas start to flow. Hang on, my fucking thing's out of focus. My gross hands. Gonna work, camera? There we go. Then the ideas start to flow because you can kind of see it more three-dimensionally, of course, right? Because it's physical, right? And so the ideas start to flow a little bit more, and you're kind of like, okay, now I know what the next, thing I could do with this, you know what I mean? Or the next thing I can push for or add on or something like that. But I know myself quite well. There's going to be a point where it's like, well, do I really need this? Is this a thing that's going to be interesting for people to print or want? You know what I mean? So it's just like, should I really actually make an add-on for this thing or add this thing or blah, blah. So it's this constant kind of like back and forth. Which was kind of different from the last Kickstarter, because the last Kickstarter I was just kind of like making stuff, and I was just like, oh, I need more stuff. It needs to be bigger, and it's like, I need to do this, and I need to do that, and then I was just kind of like a constant, perpetual. And then there was a certain point where I was just like, okay, cut it off, no more, don't do it, don't make any more.
But you were like, I think last time a little bit more inspired, or it was like more of your natural zone of like interest, and you like, I think a lot of it came to you organically. Now you might have to kind of get get creative with how you plan, with how you because I don't know, like, have you, like, I think I probably have seen more of your work than anyone else in the world right now of what you're working on. But I don't really know. I don't know what you're making. I still don't know what you're making.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool to see it like laid out somewhere and like, here are the big pieces, here are the medium pieces, here are the smaller pieces. And
do you mean like you mean the physical prints? Is that what you're talking about?
No, not necessarily. Just like the inventory.
Yeah. Well, it's not all done yet, so get over it.
All right.
Yeah, no, I have one piece I gotta finish today.
Why do you have to wait till it's all done? Is there like a wow? Are you after a wow factor? You want to just spring it on people like wow?
I don't follow.
Well, I asked you why I can't see anything, and you said because they're not all done yet, and it's like
because there's nothing else to show. Everything that I showed is like pretty much, you know what I mean. It's not. Okay. It's not. It can't be shown because it's not finished, fucking modeled. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, so you have shared everything that you have made.
Pretty much. There's a couple things where it's like I just need to like do a couple fixes, then I can show it off. But that's like it's the platform bit for my big boss platform, the top bit that needs to be altered a bit because I'm not happy with it. So, yeah.
Are you making like a dungeon you can crawl through, or is it like just set pieces?
No. There's going to be like I'm already finished the wall stuff, and then there will be the platforms, the raised platforms, and walkways with stairs, functional stairs. That's like, and that's it. And then it's on to the stretch goals.
Okay.
But you're just not impressed.
I'm just trying to get a sense of what the story is.
Story is big fucking.
And I don't mean the story as in like there's a devil, and I mean like what is when you sit around and play with it, what does that look like?
Well, I guess you gotta wait till you look at it and see it, I guess.
Oh boy.
No?
That's a cop-out answer. Come on.
What do you mean that's a cop-out answer?
You can't explain it?
It's fucking terrain for dark fantasy stuff. Big platforms, there's elevated areas, there's walls, there's destroyed walls, there's a big scary gate, there's a big scary archway. It's like big narrative pieces.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Then there'll be smaller pieces and stuff like that too. But yeah, like I said, like I don't. When I was making the last Kickstarter, I didn't really know what I was really doing before. I was just kind of kept adding things on, and whatever stuck, right? And I'm just kind of approaching this one as well the same way.
Yeah. At some point, you like made all this stuff, and it became like, oh, Antoine has like a city of kind of this future industrial stuff.
Yeah.
It had like, the same as clear aesthetic, and it was like, yeah, I don't know, filled out a nice big picture of like sort of, and you could walk through the streets and that sort of thing.
Yeah. But you're talking about the physical pictures, though. You're talking some physical pictures.
Well,
you're talking about the physical prints.
I am. That's when I first saw it. But I'm saying, like, even if you had a render of that same idea, of that could still have. I didn't need the renders to see that, but it wasn't until I saw them, it wasn't until I saw the photos that's why I was like, okay, now I get it.
Yeah. Well,
maybe I don't need to get it. Maybe only you need to get it. until the end.
Till the end. Yeah. I don't know. It's I don't want to stress out about it too much, because if I stress out about it, then there's going to be a point where I'll get frustrated and I won't do any work, right? So I'm just making some cool shit, and then I'm just on top of that. Once I'm happy with this core set stuff, I'm going to make some stretch goals that are cool shit that adds on, or that's completely new pieces and stuff like that, you know? So it's just so different, because it has to be way more uniform, right? So because it's not generic like dungeon stuff, or generic like medieval stuff. It has like skulls, and there's archways, and there's pokey bits, and there's like little spikes everywhere. And I'm just looking at my model to like tell you what it is there. Yeah, and there's like cracks, and it's like kind of busted up a bit and old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like it has to keep following that silhouette and that feel, right? And in the sci-fi one, everything's pretty boxy, and then a couple little round surfaces that are maybe beveled out. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, I just got to make sure everything's boxy and round, and surfacey, right?
Yeah.
With some bevels, and it's like then it all kind of fits, and of course like there'll be some like similar patterns, like certain like similar panel lining and like shared models, right? And then also maybe certain piping that I really enjoy making that I think that looks cool. I'll like add that on to another piece, so it kind of fits all together, kind of thing. And that's way easier. And then also I don't have the ZBrush, right? So well, I do have to throw the model into ZBrush just to like make it a complete piece. But for the most part, you know, I'm doing everything in Maya, and I'm just more adept in Maya as well. You know, so that's another reason. And also, you've said this, and it is true. I think I just have a more natural inclination towards very industrial sci-fi settings, I guess. And one would say it's like, well, that's just easier. It's like, yeah, it's true. But when you said that, I look back on like, what did I used to draw and what did I used to like consume as a child? And like, I used to love Power Rangers, right? But I love Power Rangers because of like the vehicles, like the fucking, like they're like all their vehicles, you know what I mean? Like they're just giant robot like animals, right? And then their weapons, like their guns and their swords and like Megatron and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Like, and then like I used to love that, and then I used to draw tanks and airplanes and like just in like, you know, essentially just war, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kid playing war. Same thing with toys. Like I just had like robots and toy soldiers and tanks, you know what I mean? So I guess like I don't know, like I've been visually battered. And so I know I kind of have a better feeling of like, this kind of feels better if I do this, you know what I mean? This kind of feels better if I do that.
Yeah, so your visual library is already there. You don't have to like, stop and do research every step of the way or anything like that.
I can kind of, it's almost like playing jazz a little bit. Like once I got enough parts, I could just start shoving things in and be like, okay, that's a cool shape. And then now let's refine it. You know what I mean? That's
right. That's some kind of art you can freestyle and some you can't.
Yeah, like I still have reference. There's still like, okay, there's a piece in this reference that I really like, and then I'll kind of copy that kind of feel and that like overall shape, right? And then I'm like, well, it doesn't quite feel right, so I'll start adding things on, or I'll take another mesh and like stick it there and see what happens. You know what I mean? So it's very liberating to like do that. It's very fun, but it's weird because I didn't think. When I was making all this stuff, I didn't think I'd get sick of it, and then I got really sick of it, and I was like, I'm doing fantasy stuff. And then I got sick of doing fantasy stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to go back to sci-fi. So I think I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. You know what I mean? I'm gonna...
Yeah. You know? Well, if you did 2 sci-fi projects back to back, you might get double sick of it, you know?
Who knows? Or
you break through to the other side.
Yeah, that's a thing, right? What I was going to say is the War and Art. There's a certain piece where the Book of War Art, Stephen Pressfield, he talks about he wrote his first book, It took him forever to write this book. And he had a friend that he was a successful author and like screenwriter and stuff like that. And he was just like living in an RV, just like driving around and he would just like go to, and he would have coffee with this friend, this writer friend that lived in an RV. And he said he finally wrote the book, and he went to his buddy and he's like, "Hey, I just finished my first book." And then his friend, without even looking up, sipping at his coffee, he said, "Good, start the next one today." And when I read that, like I've read that so many times, I kind of forgot about it. And I was just like thinking about when I did my last Kickstarter, and there was kind of like a little bit of a period where I was just kind of like not moping around, but just kind of like twiddling my thumbs and like starting projects and like not finishing them and like being like, blah, 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 you know, just kind of goofing around a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think there's when there's momentum on your side, especially my first Kickstarter being a success, I should have really just like doubled down and be like, okay, next project, go like right after, you know what I mean? Like when I launched the Kickstarter, you know what I mean? I should have like just started barreling in. And I know I like gave myself like time, like, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, take my time, you know, with this Kickstarter and just like, you know, answer emails and like, you know, do, you know, some things and blah blah, you know what I mean? But what I should have done is I should have like started like the next plan of attacks. And then I think
why didn't you do that?
I don't know, because I just feared like I deserved a little break, I guess, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I worked so hard and my Kickstarter is successful so far, and I should just take a little, you know, just take it easy. And what I should have done is I should have just kind of like barreled on to the next project. And I think what it was is I was too small-minded. I think I was like thinking like the Kickstarter was just this one thing, and what I should have thought about is like, no, like the Kickstarter is just a small piece of like multiple different Kickstarters and multiple different projects. And so to get to all those, to fulfill that, I need to like keep going. You know what I mean? And if I am really stressed out, or if I am really need a break or whatever, it's just like, well, I'll take it. But I look back on, man, I'm on a ramble today. Hey, Jesus
It's
Christ.
okay. I like this one.
Yeah, and I look
I don't
back.
always like them, but
I don't always like it when you open your goddamn fat mouth, Antoine, and you start talking about your gobbledygook. Excuse me. But yeah, I look back on my last Kickstarter, and I could have totally took advantage of that situation and started working on new pieces for either for another sci-fi campaign for District 12 or a completely different campaign that's fantasy or whatever, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Or like take a real crack at a character, you know what I mean? I keep talking about trying to make characters or creatures.
Yeah. But you just have to like say, whatever I start, I'm going to finish it. And
yeah.
Like, you can scale back on what finish it means, but I think finishing in like, which I think only really means I'm going to release it, even if it's just on Thingiverse or something like that, whatever I maybe make right now. And like after the Kickstarter, after you did that, like there's never going to be a lower pressure time for you to just do art without a deadline or impending doom ahead of you, you know? Because it's like you just finished the thing. It's just out there. It's everybody is like, you know, consuming it, and it's, you know, it was a success.
Yeah.
So it's like in that moment, there's no like,
there's no rush.
I think it's like the least amount of pressure you could ever have to make art, and it might even be enjoyable too.
Oh no, it was fucking enjoyable. I remember there was a day I worked out, and then I opened all the windows. It was sunny out. It was a nice day out, and I was literally I was laying on the ground on my workout mats over there, and I was literally eating oranges and cheese and pecans, sitting on my back, and then like I had to get like notifications, be like, "Oh, look, I got another $100. That's nice." You know what I mean? I was just like, it was just so blissful of just being like knowing that just money was coming in and I wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
and-
I mean, you did. You'd already done it. So
No. But this is the thing though, that like it does happen now here and there with my mini factory sales, but it wasn't as like it wasn't like the Kickstarter where it was like I was getting sometimes $1,000 in a day, you know what I mean, or in a week, or in a few days, you know what I mean.
mm-hmm.
So to get back to that feeling, you got to keep kind of, you know, perpetuating the wheel. You know what I mean? You got to like keep fucking moving it and like and try to toe the line of I guess failure and success. You want to like essentially dance on like on the edge of I don't know, of your limit, so you can be like, look, all this stuff I'm making at this speed and at this quality, and then in return you get benefited, you know, with people being like, that's cool, I want to support that person, and I'd like to buy that person's work of art or whatever, you know. So I was in it. I was like on the wire, and I was like doing the show, right? But but afterwards, I just like, you know, didn't pay attention and didn't technically, you know, work out, right? Because like when sorry,
you art binged and then you unart binged.
I don't even say it was even art binged. It was more of just like work, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I should have just kept working.
Yeah, I struggle with that too, like maintaining like just an even, steady pace instead of like spikes of like productivity and then oh, I need a break. Oh, I need to be productive. Oh, I need a break. It's like that. Instead of just like, I'm going to be just like 70% all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But
it's essentially the story of the tortoise and the hare when you think about it, right? The hare, like, he like sped through and he's like, I'm a little tired. And he's like, I'm just going to take a nap and I don't have to worry about that tortoise, you know, it's no big deal. And then sure enough, the fucking tortoise snuck up. And I think the tortoise is essentially
but you know, man,
go ahead.
The tortoise he may have won the race there, but he never became a gold medal. He never became a gold medal sprinter, that tortoise.
He did. He beat the race. He did the race. He won.
Yeah, he beat a lazy ass rabbit, but he's still a turtle. He didn't achieve greatness.
Quit deconstructing like nursery rhyme. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. I think
metaphor. The tortoise is their deadline. That's what tortoise represents, I think.
You can't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're just overthinking everything, like how to strategize. Because I do think there's a time when you gotta like, you know, it's like a fighter before training camp where that is not a balanced life, right? But they're trying to
get to the one like peak physique that's perfectly for that one day.
Moment. Yeah.
The one moment.
That's right.
But that's not our game, dude. You know what I mean? That's not our scene. Like we need like if you're doing what I'm doing, where I'm just working for myself, it'd be better to find the most optimal pace. You know what I mean? And there will be times where I'll have to like, you know, really push it and really put more hours in and stuff like that. And that's normal. That's going to happen. But I can't always do that because I'll just burn myself out, right? So in the long run, it's always going to be like, you know what I mean? Like you said, like a 70%, you know what I mean? If I can keep 70% for a whole year every day, that's amazing. You know what I mean? You know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of torn. I know sometimes I just do work that's like I never would have done if I didn't sit there and crunch it out for a weekend. Yeah. That kind of is, and just it never would have happened. Like over weeks, I would have stopped doing it, and you know, like in any game jam, that I've done, which is like doesn't really go anywhere. Like as far as a project that lives on or anything, but as far as like, I feel like skills I've acquired during those times have like really set me up, like with skills I didn't have before, right? I mean, that's what an acquisition is, I guess. But I don't know. It's weird. Like, I don't regret doing them, even though they, a game jam never really goes anywhere.
Yeah.
And without binging and like just stressing and doing like an absurd amount of work in like 48 hours, you'd never really it just, those wouldn't be things that are in my life. They wouldn't be experiences that I'd had.
Yeah.
And if you never do that, then I wonder if you're missing out on those kind of experiences. I was like, is there an appropriate amount of time that you can safely binge, and almost in an unhealthy way if you were like doing it all the time?
No, that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like training, right? Or just like doing some sort of physical activity. It's like you're prone for injury, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want that to happen, but when that does happen, you can kind of look on the bright side and be like, okay, now I know my limits. Now I know a limit, and like, what do I need to fix to make sure that I can go past that limit, or that this doesn't happen again? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you can't run a marathon every day, but
Eddie Izzard would say otherwise.
Yeah,
he ran a marathon for 40 days every day, one day, not one day, but for 40 days he ran a marathon.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't run a marathon every day for 40 days every year, or can you?
No, probably not. Your knees would probably be filled with fluid. You would have to drain them.
Yeah.
No. I think that, I don't know. There's, for what you said and what I was talking about, there's a time and place for both, right? And there's probably some sort of like middle ground in there, or like some sort of thing where it's like you have to experience these things, right? And I have experienced those things, right? Because I've worked at studios where it's like, well, we need to do crunch, and it's like you gotta leave the studio at like midnight. I've done that before. Or like when you're at college, you know what I mean? And you're like, oh, I gotta get this fucking project done, and you're like there all, you're doing like I remember it was my second to last quarter for AI, the school we went to, and I remember for the whole is it 3 months, a quarter?
Yeah.
3 months. I remember for the whole 3 months, every day I woke up at 8 o'clock. No, what was it? No, I got up at 7, and then I'd get at school at 8, and I would leave at 10:30. And I did that for 3 months, for 3 months straight, every day, like Saturday and Sunday. And it was just like clockwork. It was just like, you know what I mean? Oh, there goes my camera.
The snapping.
I don't know. There you go. I did that for 3 months, and it was just like, and I got a lot of work done. And that fucking guy, what's his name?
Yeah.
French guy, Eric. I think Eric.
Eric
Boulanger, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was very mean, but his meanness was good motivation for me to like hate him, to get my work done.
Yeah, that's right.
Because he was like, "Oh, you'll probably get one piece done for your portfolio, but you probably won't make it or whatever." And I was just like, I was seething. I was just like, "Oh, you motherfucker, I'll show you." And I just worked my ass off every day.
Yeah. It's
and
a strange
I got it done.
Yeah.
I got it done. Spite is a very good energy bar.
Yeah, for some people, it really drives them, right?
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. It could be a dangerous thing because it can occupy too much real estate in your head. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, for sure.
It kind of worked in that scenario because, like, I don't interact with that person anymore, and I don't know what he's up to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know his life. It was just kind of like in that one brief instant of life, he was there to be shitty towards me, and then he said I couldn't do it, and then I did it, and now it's gone because I proved him wrong, right? And he probably said that like to everybody, and he probably was just like, what did I say to you? I don't fucking remember. You know what I mean? He probably doesn't fucking remember. But in my brain, there's this hole that was burning. It was just, you know what I mean?
That's so true.
Yeah. But I graduated, so like that demon is like now casted away, and it's like not a problem. But I've caught myself many times where okay, so if no one knows this, every man or every woman has fake arguments with people that you despise.
In your head, right? Like
in your head, and then so fuck it, I'll say it. Gord, remember Gord? I won't use his last name. I'll just use Gord. Gord.
Yeah.
Bad experience with that guy. And for a long, long time, he took up real estate in my brain, and I was essentially like a prisoner.
Haunted your thoughts. Right?
Yeah, I was essentially a prisoner to Gord, and he probably wasn't even thinking about me, or he probably didn't like. He's probably like, "What? I don't fucking give a shit about you." And I was just like, so upset about this person for the longest time, and it took a while to like be like, fuck this person and don't think about it. Just focus on you and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish.
Yeah.
And that happens to a lot of people, and it sucks because you're getting robbed from your time and energy.
Mm-hmm. It's an energy drain, right? It's like when somebody, it was like, man, I don't want to use another fighting analogy, but
do it.
I totally hear you.
Nerd.
It's like, okay, it's like when there's that somebody's shit talking in the fight just to get the other guy upset, so that you're just like using more energy for everything you do because you're so upset, and then before you know it, you're like adrenaline is spent and you're just tired, and then the other guy's piecing you up with lefts, rights.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially the fight of Muhammad Ali and Frazier.
Yeah.
Right. He would literally was just like getting beat to a pulp, right? Muhammad Ali, and he was like talking. Muhammad Ali was just talking shit. He was like, "That's all you got? Come on, that's all you can hit. You're tired now. And fucking oh shit, what's his name? Floyd? No, Frazier. Frazier was just like hitting and hitting. He was getting so tired, and it was like the 11th or 10th round where he was like Frazier was just on death's door and he just couldn't move, and then Ali was just had his way and just like just TKO'd him, boom, right there. You know what I mean? And
that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's a real thing.
Well, you're in a situation now where you're probably not going to be exposed to people like that, because you're working for yourself, you're working at home on your own projects. It's very much, it's just you. And so there isn't somebody like some supervisor, some.
There is though.
Who's that?
Me. It's me.
Oh, so you're good, but are you going to be that person in your own life?
No, I know that though.
Because you're the type of person that's motivated by that negative energy a little bit to say, fuck you, because some other people might, get demoralized, and that negative energy actually stalls them and makes them less productive. Whereas, maybe it makes you more productive because of your spite. You're so damn spiteful that it actually does bring something extra out of you. But now
I got a bunch of relatives that I still dislike, so I can use them anytime.
That's good. Yeah. I'd hate for you to miss out on some
spiteful rage
motivation. Yeah. Well, it's just all about like achieving.
I still hate Gord.
That's good. I don't know if that's good, but
no, it probably isn't. No,
well, you hate that Gord, the Gord that he was at the time. Who knows which Gord he is now?
That's a good point. But let's be honest, probably the same. But what I was gonna say is, I used to beat myself up a lot when I wouldn't get things done, or like I was procrastinating or whatever, stuff like that. And it doesn't, I shouldn't say it doesn't happen. It does still happen, but I feel like I can manage it more where it's more not as destructive.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't think I need spite to motivate me. I just think I need, and also motivation is not always going to be there, right? It's more of just, once again, back to Stephen Pressfield. It's just sit down and do the work, right? And then something happens, right? There's a little bit of magic that happens, a little woo woo magic, where you get kind of blessed with creativity and blessed with like the energy to continue this project. You know what I mean? It's a strange thing, and it works like clockwork. Like after like just like 5 minutes, you know what I mean, or 10 minutes, you know what I mean. I start working on something, and then there's like I get into a zone, and I just start working and working and working and working and working. You know what I mean? So there's it's just about sitting down and doing the work. I think, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, I just worry about
especially if you don't want to do it, you should sit down and do it.
Yeah. Like when you're working at a studio or something like that, just like when you're an employee, basically, there's external things that force you to be that way, that force you to like, okay, I have to be at work for 8 hours. And so I'm not going to, go anywhere else and like take I don't know, like a 2-hour walk or something, like, even if it is good for you to do, maybe. And there's usually somebody like an art director who is kind of, when you're like not presenting the best idea that clearly you can produce, because like that's their whole job, right? Is to like comment on it and say, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? And then they go away, and then they come back and you've actually done the things and you've added it yourself, right? Like these improvements. And so it's like, okay, well, I wouldn't have thought of that, or I wouldn't have done this stuff if not for this person, right? But yeah, I guess I worry about like at home, you don't have anybody really like that unless you let someone in to do it. I do have Sam who comments on my stuff, which is, kind of, she's not an art director, but she is like somebody who doesn't have a bunch of like artsy knowledge. That's like really like, she doesn't see all art stations. So she sees everything through the eye of like just a kind of a very neutral lens. Right. So, which is actually, I think, pretty valuable too. Like just having somebody who's not an artist.
Yeah, for sure.
And which is not to say she's not creative and stuff like that, because she's a pretty good mini painter. But just like outside of our world of, I don't know.
Yeah, nerds.
Art nerds, video gamer kind of. Yeah, there's things that like, I don't know. There's just things you start doing where you just pick up and you don't even realize it. Like I was just drawing cartoons the other day or something, and I was like, I drew some feet that looked like Wind Waker style kind of feet, but to me, I saw it as feet, but like other people don't. I don't know. It's like when you're, I don't know, I'm trying to go with this, but like sometimes you're like leaning on like stylization of the industry or what you've seen 1,000 times, but really it's like you're kind of taking it for granted and you're not even putting thought into it anymore. You're just kind of like, oh, I saw that. That was a style that somebody liked. I'm just going to drop that in here without even realizing that it doesn't really work and it looks stupid.
It looks stupid.
So,
yeah, man.
I don't know.
No, I hear what you're saying though. I understand what you're saying. It's but for the moral of this story, I guess, to this podcast is just sit down, do the work, and be careful. Be careful being your own boss, I would say, and being the slave. That's essentially what I am. I'm my employer and my worker, right? So if I was an employer, I don't want to beat up my employee, and if I was an employee, I wouldn't want my employer to beat me up.
Well, you can't fire yourself either if you know.
No, I'm stuck with me. So yeah, so it's even worse, right? You can't fire them, but you can self-sabotage.
Yeah.
Probably worse.
Well, you're getting quiet.
What?
Wiggle your thing.
Wiggle my what?
Your mic?
My mic?
There you
What do
go.
you mean?
There you go. Okay.
Nothing happened. What are you talking about?
You were quiet. You
Your
were silent.
ears aren't working.
It could be this headset. This headset is old. It's like
It's a hold as shit, man. It looks like
Yeah.
you should be taking calls for a pyramid scheme. That's what it looks like.
yeah. No, I like it
Man.
though.
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, then here's a question. Well, what's your week looking like?
This week, yeah, what's going on here in Tigerland? Well, so this latest release was the Dragon Lord, and he's doing okay. He's doing better than the last one, but is still not the best one yet. I'm kind of like my Patreon kind of swooped up, and then now it's kind of just doing this. It's not really growing. It's not really dying. It's sort of just kind of floundering, floating, which is fine. It's okay. But anyway, he did get so there was a YouTuber who I chatted with you about, Tabletop Witchcraft, who was interested. So I reached out to one of my merchants who I really liked the work they'd done, because like everybody prints the minis, but not everybody prints the the 5e sheets and the illustrations and the cards and all that other stuff that I put a lot of work into. But this guy, he really enjoys that part of it, and he like laminates them and they look really good. So I thought, I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he's interested.
Does he when he sells the mini? Does he sell it with the cards?
Yeah, he has an option, right? So you can buy the mini, or you can upgrade with the cards and everything.
Cool.
And he does a better job than I can of printing all that stuff, obviously. So I was like, I told him this YouTuber was interested in, and not necessarily doing a video or anything. There's no assumptions of that. Just he's just a fan of the work and would like a mini. So I told him I would just hook him up, and I wouldn't, just please, I'm a fan of yours, and just take the mini. Just take my minis, please. Here. And then, I reached out to Barrelac Miniatures, who, the merchant I mentioned, and he was like, I was gonna say, how much would it cost me to just commission you to print and ship this out? And he was really excited about, he was also a fan of this guy, so he's like, no, don't worry about it. I'll just send it to him. You know what I mean? So everybody is just kind of collaborating and just doing their thing and donating their time, and I don't know. So that's like on the way to him, and we'll see if I hope Barrelac, gets a bit of a shout out and stuff, or I don't know. I just hope everybody enjoys the process, because I think it's really important to collaborate and I don't know, kind of build real relationships with people, and not
sure.
Oh, you do this for me and I'll do that for you. Like a lot of the kind of half the collaborations that I get are like really conditional, and it's like, oh, you want to work together? It's like only after I get this like confirmation from like that you're gonna do your part. So after you sign some contract, or you buy my stuff first, and then I'll reimburse you after, so I know you're not going to screw me over. And those kind of like collaboration deals, I just like just forget about it.
Those are more kind of like, I don't know. Those are more like business deals almost, in a weird way. Yeah,
and there's a place for that, but I'm just like, I just don't have the time or the energy. I just don't care for that right now.
Yeah.
So I'm only really collaborating with people who like are just friendly and just are willing to go out on a limb and trust. It's like a miniature. It's like, if somebody takes your miniature and doesn't paint it, and just what's the loss? What are you afraid of, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't need to like. I'm not at that point now where I need like contracts in my life.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm like kind of looking for opportunities to. I'm not even looking for opportunities to collaborate, but just trying to get engaged a little bit more. I don't know. So that's one thing that's happening. And I did order just like a test run of the cards just to see. I just want to see what they look like. You know what I mean?
Did you order 21 packs?
No.
Okay.
I ordered a deck with 21 cards in the deck.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's not even every card I've made. It just happened to fall into like, because when you order a deck, it's like you can make a 21 card deck or 54 card deck, and if you, I don't know, you got to be strategic a little bit.
I understand.
Yeah. So that's coming. I'm pretty excited about that. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but I do know that I do want to plan to like, I don't know how long COVID's going to be here for, but when it stops and conventions, I do want to do a convention, man. I'm going to try and just when my new printer gets in, I'm going to try and print a backlog of minis so that when conventions start up again, I can attend one and be a person at a table and really live the life of a rock star.
Gonna have to get a banner.
Yeah. I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
What happens if you get like a really shitty booth where it's like in like a separate area that's just like lost?
It's in another room.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure. I'm totally new to it. I've never done it before, so
You're gonna have to do a lot of research.
yeah. Well, that's the same with anything.
All right then. All right.
I started a Kickstarter account, so I can make a page.
That's good. Good for you. Did you get a MailChimp?
I don't have a MailChimp.
Get a MailChimp. It's free.
I
It
don't.
doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
Until you get 2,000 signups, right? And let's be honest, it's gonna take a while. Well, maybe not for you because you have quite a bit of like, you know, your social media is quite bigger than mine actually, on like Instagram and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, on IG, but yeah, you got a lot more like My Mini Factory followers.
Yeah, I got
Thingiverse followers.
Yeah, I just hit over 400 on My Mini Factory, and I'm well over 1,000 in Thingiverse. So yeah.
Yeah, which is, you know, that's really targeted audience. Like everybody is, you know, I feel like with Instagram you get a lot of people who are just kind of looky-loos who just like what you do, but aren't even 3D printers necessarily.
Yeah. Or tabletop people.
Yeah.
Tabletop peeps.
Yeah. But it's just hard for me to make extra models to like, oh, I'll put a free thing up on Thingiverse. I'll put a free thing in my MailChimp. I'll put a free thing for this Patreon goal. There's just a lot of free models that I would like to make, but
one free model.
Well, no, those should all be unique models. You know,
for your MailChimp to sign up for your mailing list.
Yeah,
just one model. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know, but that's just that one is one model.
Okay.
But you know, for your goals, like your stretch goals on Patreon, it's good to have a unique model that they can't just get for signing a mailing list, right? Because then that's not really exclusive. So
why not?
Because
it's a mailing list. It's free for everybody.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm saying, well, who's working towards a goal for something that they've already can get for free?
I don't follow. I don't understand what you're trying to
say there. On Patreon,
yes.
There's
this isn't Patreon. Why are we talking about Patreon? We're talking about MailChimp.
Well, I know you're talking about MailChimp, but I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of different avenues where a free model would be handy, including MailChimp. And some, you know, other ones are these Patreon goals, where it would be nice to have models made for those in case I achieve a goal.
Oh, okay, that's what you're talking
about. And what I'm saying is it's hard to make extra work. It's hard to add extra work right now.
Well, I don't know, man. You made it this far. Figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out, dog.
Yeah,
got
I'll
it.
figure it out. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. So make a MailChimp.
sure.
And you don't even have to like offer anything right away. You just make it. You know what I mean? Just have it so it's up and running, and you know, just have it. And then even before making the model for downloading or whatever, anything like that, you can still go to your Patreon and be like, hey guys, I made a mailing list. If you guys want to sign up, I'd really appreciate it. And this is when you'll get, notification of any sales or any other things or blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Well, I do have a mailing list. It's just not a mailing chimp.
Yeah.
It's not a chimp brand one. I have a Shopify one.
Yeah. And you can actually connect your Shopify with your mailing list. Like, I don't have a Shopify, but I learned this. You can connect your Shopify with your mailing list, so when you send an email, like a mass email or whatever, you can connect your Shopify with it, so people can buy it, like buy the item that you have up for sale, like right away, like on that page, like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pretty neat. Or download anything right from Shopify.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I'm aware of that.
I'm just going to be modeling and 3D printing, and that's about it. So that's my shtick.
That's your whole week?
Well, what I want is I want to get my stairs, my platforms done for this week, and then I have the core set models done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can move on to just kind of like doing some stretch goal ideas and some bigger pieces, and just like, start making more stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More exciting new things. Yeah. So, and who knows? Maybe when I'm making more stuff, maybe I'll maybe take one or two pieces and put that as the core set as well. Who knows? But thanks for joining another episode of Playing the Artist. If you want to help out the show, you can leave a like or leave a comment or hit subscribe, hit the bell icon so you can be notified every Tuesday at 8 o'clock Pacific time. And watch these two hillbillies try to do art and talk about nerd shit and things like that in art. Alex, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Instagram.com/TigerSkullRPG, as well as just like TigerSkullRPG.com. And Patreon too.
Beautiful. You can find me at Forbidden Prince. It's print and printing press, not a prince as the guy from Game of Thrones that everybody hates. And Instagram, Twitter, and if you're a 3D printing enthusiast, you can get some free models on Thingiverse or My Mini Factory. Alex, you got work to do, and Antoine, I have work to do. So I'll see you on the next one.
Sounds
Bye,
good.
dude.
Ciao.